We've made a lot of mistakes throughout the journey. We'll have a nice little animation right here. B2C. So this episode, we're gonna go through the 5 known, tried, and true business models. But that one-on-one sale can get you 100, 200, 300, 1,000 orders with that one interaction. $1 million.
At least, right?
This episode, we really want to help take some businesses to the next level, right? So in the M4 show, we're definitely trying to help you all, help ourselves, everyone watching, get to that $1 million net worth or $1 million business. But before you get to the $1 million business, you gotta get to the 6-figure business.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Melanated Married Millionaires in the Making show. King, where can I go to stay connected with us?
Y'all can stay tapped into the show at them4show.com. That's them4show.com. And you can follow us on Instagram at them4show.
Now, let's get into the episode.
That's how we do it. That's what the cool kids do, 6 figures.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Hey, and
So, yes.
she's cool at times. 6 figures. So this episode, we're gonna go through the 5 known, tried, and true business models, and hopefully y'all can make a selection and move forward. This is your first time. My name is Devon Travell, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game, co-host of the M4 show with my beautiful, my smiling, my golden queen herself, sprinkled in spice. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd, and co-host of the M4 show, director of operations and logistics for Play Black Wall Street, real estate investor.
Ooh.
I wear many hats.
Ooh. Health enthusiast.
Health enthusiast, functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner.
Choreographer. Ooh.
What can't she do?
Wife. Almost professional chef. All right, we're gonna stop hyping her up. We done. We keep it going. But short intro, just so y'all know, we're not just 2 random people talking about business. So we started our first business right after graduating from college in 2016. It was called True Health Forever at that time. We had 4 pillars of health: social health, physical health, economic health, and spiritual health. And our first product that we created was Black Wall Street, the board game, to support, boom, right there, thank you, Queen, to support the economic health of our community. We've made a lot of mistakes throughout the journey, the first of which being the branding misalignment of True Health Forever and Black Wall Street, the board game. We've since changed the branding to Play Black Wall Street. We've since changed business models, and doing those small changes, we've been able to grow a 6-figure business. So what we want to do is kind of go through the different business models, the pros and cons of each business model, and talk through these lessons to help you get to a 6-figure and eventually 7-figure business. Queen, are you ready?
I am ready. And just so y'all can understand why this is a really important thing to talk about, because I think and we think that switch from business models is the reason why we were able to make a 6-figure business relatively quickly. That switch, the next year, business boomed. So stick around, definitely learn from us and our mistakes, but also just our journey, right, and our evolution, because choosing the right business model, or even the evolution of your business models, because it's not always about right or wrong, it's what's right for you at the time and how you make that shift. So definitely excited to get into it.
Now, hopping into it, Queen, 5 business models, all right? We're gonna start off, they're in no particular order. None of these are inherently the best, although I have a favorite. You have a favorite? We have favorites, but any of these can work. Number 1 is a business to customer model.
B2C.
B2C, all right? We'll have a nice little animation right here. B2C. That is where you as a business, your primary customer are other individual customers or individual people or even families, right? So you're going to the Black Coffee Company, perfect example. You go to blackcoffeecompany.com, again, not a sponsor, but we love y'all. And you are a customer going on that website, purchasing their coffee, they send it to you, business to customer. Playblackwallstreet.com. You go to playblackwallstreet.com, you get yourself a game, some flashcards, a book, some t-shirts, business to customer. Benefit of business to customer, I think it's direct to consumer. You can get that feedback right away from them. You know who you're serving. You can see all their names, right? You know exactly who's ordering your games or who's ordering your coffee. A potential downside, right? Potential downside, there's pros and cons to everything. Everything has two coins or two sides to a coin, is scalability.
Yeah.
Can be difficult, right? If every time you're selling a board game, it's to one family, it's to one person, that's a lot of effort for that one customer over time. So it can be difficult to scale that to 6 figures, depending on what your product or service is. Go ahead, Queen. Anything you want to?
Yeah, and I think it does, like you said, depending on your product or service, right? If you're selling one thing, but it costs $1,000, then that marketing or that effort you're putting in, I think will pay off a little bit more versus, we're selling a $40 board game or a $10 book. So all of the marketing and effort to make one $10 sale or one $40 sale, the scalability is definitely a factor. But you do get to see that direct feedback, right? It is nice when we're tabling. That's kind of, I think, in my opinion, the most B2C interactions that we have, because we're there as a vendor, at these different events, and we're selling directly to these people and literally handing it to them, right? Again, business to customer, and being able to see I'm so excited to play this, right? So it is very nice to be able to see the impact, see the excitement from the customer.
2020, 2021 was when we really started to make that shift, and that was during the COVID-19 pandemic, right? During that time, school districts, specifically LAUSD, reached out and they're like, hey, we want to buy some board games to help increase engagement for our families. We want to buy some Rose and Rodney books to help increase and give gifts for our elementary school students. Oh, actually, do y'all do any online academies or so that we can do during the summer? And for the first time, for a consistent period of time, a school district was now our customer, and we shifted from a business to customer to a business to business model. All right. So in a business to business model, your primary customer is another business, organization, school, association, fraternity, sorority. Like, you're doing business with the entire organization. And a pro there is it's still a semi one-on-one relationship with the economic decision maker, right? With the person who's making the purchase. The procurement office is still that one-to-one engagement, but that one-on-one sale can get you 100, 200, 300, 1,000 orders with that one interaction. So the scalability for us, crazy, right? Exponential scalability. However, I think one downside that I'll talk about, and I know, Queen, you have a different one, is you don't get that direct customer feedback. Right. So we might sell 400 games to a school district, and then the games are just sent out. We just have one interaction. We don't get to see each person enjoy that game. We don't get to meet those 400 people. We don't know those 400 people's name, email, where they live. Like, we don't get that data as a company to be able to retarget them. So plus is you get sales a little bit quicker with the same amount of effort. Downside is you get a little bit less data and interaction with your community. But the Queen's on the other side of things. Go ahead. What's
Yes. So being the kind of logistics person and operations person in the background, I will say the biggest pro is the what is the word I'm looking for? Price margin. Thank you.
Yeah, I sent that to you.
Thank you very much.
We're in the future and we're ortho-telepathic.
Ortho-telepathic. What he said. Yep. So, right, with this one business transaction, right, us to a school district or to an organization, whether we're selling a service, whether we're selling our program, or whether we're selling multiple board games, we've now gone from, a $40, $10 transaction to $1,000, right, depending on what the service or product is. So that's nice because, yes, you're putting in a lot of work, but the reward when you get that check is like, whew, okay, that was all worth it, right?
Right.
However, there is significantly more work that is put in for that transaction, right, versus a one-on-one. I am putting, again, we're going back to the tabling example, right? Yes, I'm giving a spiel to this customer, but I'm talking for maybe 4 minutes, and they're either sold or they're not, right? If they buy it, cool, but that was pretty much all that I put into that interaction. When you're trying to, for example, a school district, specifically because we're talking about, for example, running a program with minors, there's a lot of work put into that transaction. There's a lot of upfront work you have to do to even show that you are an appropriate business for this school district to do business with. So they are expecting insurance policies, right? And you have to have a general liability, professional liability, cyber insurance, sexual molestation insurance.
And it needs to be $1 million.
At least, right?
Business model number 3, freemium. All right. So a lot of y'all are using services for free right now, right? You're probably watching this on YouTube, right? And probably 30 seconds after I say this, there's going to be a YouTube ad that's going to play afterwards. And that's because you have the free version. Another example is Canva, right? We use the free version of Canva. And because we have the free version of Canva, there's certain things that we can't use, certain graphics. We can't remove the background.
It's the worst.
It's the worst. All
I'm
this
like,
stuff.
I love that picture, but it's got the watermark on it.
Yep, terrible. That's why sometimes I'll use Adobe because we pay for Adobe and I can remove the background. And then Simplify, we pay for Simplify so I can remove the background. Canva I'm starting to use really only for our team meeting just because it's already in there.
Yeah.
But side note, those are free templates or free features, free access that you get for those platforms. If you pay the premium, you then get access to more features. You don't need to listen to the ads. You can download video and music from YouTube. You can remove the background from Canva pictures and you get these extra things. That is a freemium business model. They get a lot of people to download or use the service, collect that data by offering stuff for free. And then they monetize, they make money by giving you access to more things for a premium. All right. Benefit, of course, you can probably scale quickly or at least go viral with your app, with your product quicker because it's free. And if it's good, people are going to tell other people, hey, use this free service so you can do X, Y, and Z. Possible bad thing is you don't always convert them over. Right. Number 4, we got 2 more left for y'all. Number 4 is the subscription model. Perfect segue from Netflix. All right. So subscription is you're paying a fee every single month, every single year for access to digital or in-person products or digital or in-person services. So again, Netflix, you pay your $30 a month, your $40 a month, and you get access to those TV shows, those movies. They did have a really cool interactive movie that we just watched on Netflix too, which was fun. Choose Love. Shout out to Netflix for that. What's another example? HelloFresh, right? You can pay your $40 a month, and every single month you'll get your nice, fresh, organic groceries that you can then cook up.
Instacart.
DoorDash.
I am a fan of Instacart, let me tell you.
Yeah, Sticky.
Sticky icky.
Oh, goodness. But that's a really good business model if you want to get consistent cash flow from your audience and from your customers. A potential downside to that is if people aren't using the service, they're going to cancel it, right? So you need to make sure your service is as sticky as possible, as valuable as possible, and is ingrained into that person's lifestyle. But 5th and final one, drum roll please. Bow, user generated. All right. So this is a business model where the value of your product, the value of your service comes from the community and the users themselves. One really great benefit from this is you just need to create the platform.
Right.
You need to create the environment. And if you create a good environment for people and you make it fun, you gamify it, it's going to have a higher virality rate, right? Virality? Virality.
I say virality.
You say virality?
Because you say viral, but don't.
I'll listen to her. Spelling Bee champion 2000.
False.
No.
Stop.
But a higher virality rate if you have user generated. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you, Queen. Now the downside of it is, I don't say that might not be a downside. For me, it's not a personal brand thing. right? So I feel like for me, I like building brands that are built around people personally. So that's why user generated not going to be my go-to one. But the other downside is you need to make sure you have good rewards that make people want to actually add to your platform. Whether it's good rewards or they get value from it as well, there needs to be a reciprocation of value, which can be difficult for you. You also need to find a very good way to monetize. And sometimes it can take a while, and you see this a lot with startups like a Facebook, like an Instagram, like a Twitter. It takes them years to get enough people on the platform, enough attention on the platform to then finally be able to monetize that user-generated content. And for a lot of us startup folks, it can be difficult to put up all that upfront money for years before we get a return. Right. Queen, how do you feel about user-generated?
I think it's an interesting business model. I think it's difficult. I think it's a very difficult model to make profitable.